So one of the first things that's coming, and this is just a screenshot of the new interface, is this concept of collections. And so here I have a collection called 2Q25 Strategy Planning. And I'm able to ask a question of specific documents in my collection. And when I do that, it looks like this. 1 second. So I'm able to ask a question like this. And then Storytell will give me an answer. And that answer includes this thing that we're calling story tiles. Let me just grab a screenshot of that real fast here. And so we can see here that I get an answer, and that answer has the source content that was used to actually power the LLM's response. And I want to show this to you actually in production. So let me go over to, sorry, in our development server. It's not in prod yet. So here is the actual experience. And here are the chats in that strategy planning. Let's imagine that I'm trying to understand Walt Disney, Netflix. Maybe I also want to upload, we'll say that I'm going to do a chat, and I also want to upload the Paramount 10K as well, the Viacom 10K. So we can see that now I'm going to be working with that as well. And now, Nicholas, is there a question that you could imagine yourself wanting to ask between Viacom, Netflix, and Walt Disney? Give me any question.
I don't know. Maybe like what was like Q3? If we're talking about the 10K, like maybe what's Q3 earnings amongst each? I don't know. Or share,
Okay.
rather.
Share, like share as in like audience share.
Correct, yeah.
And so we're going to say here between Walt Disney. So you can see here that I'm choosing Walt Disney, Netflix, and Viacom. And let's see what it comes up with. So now I'm working with all three. And by the way, Graham, I'm noticing here that it's re-extracting these, but these were already in this collection. Let me just take a quick screenshot of this. This is why it's really helpful for us to do this with real users. So Graham, I wouldn't have expected it to re-extract this content.
Indeed, we're aware of this one, Rodale. We are aware of this one. Yeah, Aaron was mentioning it earlier on today, so
okay, sounds good.
We're on the case.
Awesome. So we'll just give it a second to extract these. And then Graham, do you know, am I going to have to re-ask the question?
No, it should complete. It's just obviously when you change knowledge in the thread, it does wait for that change. So I would hope to see it reply here.
Okay, we'll give it a second here to see if it does. If not, I can just ask again.
Sure.
Copy it in case I need to. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ask again, Graham, just to see if that helps kick it off. Again, I think we're probably seeing latency. Yep, okay. While this is answering, Bears, do you see this? World's knowledge included?
Yeah.
This is new. Do you remember when we were talking to Brian and he wanted to be able to tell if world's knowledge was included or not?
Yeah.
That's how we do this. Okay, so Graham, I'm not getting the answer that I would have expected here because it doesn't look like.
I don't think ratings type of information would be in these. Maybe you should ask like revenue or something like that.
Yeah, maybe like a Q3 revenue for each.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's try that. Okay, let's try that. I'm also, Graham, not seeing the story tiles show up. Yeah, there's something about the data set that's not fully working here. Let's just look at assets. We do have these. Interestingly, Graham, it doesn't look like these assets have actually processed to me.
Agreed.
Is that right?
Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
look like they have been processed.
Okay. Well, so Nicholas and Bears, you're getting to watch the sausage get made here. So the good news is that we're going to have this working in production within a week. The bad news is that it looks like, although I'm uploading these files, it's not actually using them and processing them. But so for now, let's just use the structure of this. I'd love to get some feedback on that structure. So we have a collection. I've named that as TQ25 strategy planning. I've put some assets into that space. And then I have a set of chats as well. And I can see all of those chats. I can start a new chat. I can go into those chats. Let me actually find maybe an older one. Let me see if I'm able to find one. Let's try this one because it was giving me answers earlier. And so we can see here, I was getting answers from the different files. How does that feel to you, both Nicholas and Bears, the ability to scope a conversation between a set of assets in a collection?
That, I mean, to us and what I receive, it's great, honestly. I think that it's something that we often are trying, at least in my scope of work, we're often trying to find a narrative that's fitting to talk to like our different client partners, as well as some of the thought leadership things that we're doing. And we're pulling from a lot of different documents. So this is actually really great to see, you know?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Can't wait for you to be able to load those all in and actually
Yeah, for
work with
sure.
them. It's really exciting. Graham, do you have a version that shows story tiles that you could show, do you think?
I'm literally trying to fix my local right now,
Okay.
Jorio. So
No
I
problem,
will
no problem.
just a few minutes and I'll see if I've got something for us.
Okay. Bears, any other feedback about?
No, I mean, Jody, my question is, with the older version, we could do some of this, but it's not as clean and straightforward because I've been able to
Yep.
talk to many files.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
The original MVP is quite robust in your ability to
Yeah.
tag content. We are basically bringing that functionality into the modern Storytell. And
Yeah.
then we're going to be building a lot more. I'll just give you an example. This is a screenshot because I was just testing this right before this call and it was working. We're starting to introduce a relevancy score to the story tiles. So Nicholas, basically the answer's here. And then we have what's powering the answer. And we have a set of Storytell cards that you can click on to see like the actual source content. So you can kind of like believe the LLM's answer. It's like, oh, that came from that source document. Like it's
Yeah.
not just making it up. And we can also
Yeah,
show how, Bears.
this is really good because it's like it reminds me a little bit about from Perplexity when you're like doing these searches. Um, like the thing we talked about yesterday, Trodio, with Black folks and AI usage, something like that where we can dump it in here and it can go through all the different documents and be able to
Yep.
put the story together.
Yep. That's exactly what we're building towards. That's great. This is an example of one that has multiple story tiles here.
Hey, Berge, I'm wondering if part of what you were saying when you're mentioning in the original had the same capability, is there a question in there of saying like, well, how is this different than the original or no?
I mean, in a way, yeah, how is it different? It seems like it's a little bit more easier to navigate, but I feel like I was getting this or something very similar to this in the original.
Yep. I think what you just said, Berge, is exactly, not only is it easier to navigate. So it's great to hear you say that you think so, but it's a lot faster. So the original is quite slow. We are really working on focusing on speed and robustness and enterprise grade functionality. And this is the beginning of a lot more functionality that we can now layer in. Let me give you one example of that. As a user, you probably don't care too much about this, but you probably do care about getting the best answer. And so we're now, with our LLM router, we're picking the best large language model to answer each question, including with this new O1, which is the leading analysis large language model on the market from OpenAI. And you can see in this screenshot, we also evaluated Gemini, which is from Google, and Claude, which is from Anthropic. Now, you probably don't care about the specifics about that, but you do care about getting the best answer. Another thing, I'm going to try this one more time. Let's see if this, it's always dangerous to do live demos, but that's what we're here for. Let me see if we get, I just tried re-uploading these in the hopes that maybe it would work this time. We'll see if it does. And Graham, also let me know if you were able to get local working to show story tiles.
Indeed. There's a lot of stuff going in tonight, Rodeo. I just want to share that with everybody. There's a whole host of PRs going in. We're obviously trying to push for a launch tomorrow. It's a hub of activity in the engineering channel right now. And so lots going on.
Yeah, well, listening to your Scottish accent is definitely entertaining and heartwarming. So thank you.
And for all of us non-engineers, we may or may not know this, but PRs are not press releases, they're pull requests. So it's the code that's all getting mashed into the, like literally there's a bunch of engineers pushing code into the system right now as we're showing it to you, which is why on a development server, you just never know what you're going to get. Okay, well, let me just stop there and just see, I'd love to turn it back to you, Erica, in terms of like wherever you'd like to go next. This is going to be coming next week and can't wait to onboard you, Nicholas, for your use cases.
Yeah, exactly. I think and in terms of more that's coming, there's also going to be permissions. So something that actually within AI and I that came up this summer quite frequently was, okay, you need to be able to just add one other person to a collection that you're working on, or a handful of people, or maybe the entire company. That's unlikely. But so that is one difference, Barish, of going from our MVP to what we're working on right now. That you can really define who is seeing it. But I mean, I know we're coming to the close of our product demo time, and we have stayed true to our, come and be messy with us mantra.